And I could speak about the experience there. And I'm not, you know, I've been seeing a lot of people trying to rewrite their history on YouTube in this community where they know that they don't have no placement. Motherfuckers be placing themselves. But the only reason they do that is because people such as myself, I don't have nothing to sit back with the Marine watching this shit fall to shit. You know what I mean? And I don't have nothing to say because I'm not trying to save nobody. But if anybody want to talk about the, you can't have, because if you come into the movie 3 hours into the movie, how the fuck do you know about the movie? If niggas showed up on the scene in 2012, 2013, 2015, 2009, you don't have no horse in this race. You know what I'm talking about? You got drafted into the league later on. Like, you wasn't here from the beginning, okay? And before I came around, or before we popped up, there was no conscious community. There was the metaphysical underground, yes. There was the dark matter think tank, yes. And there was the Black Power movement and all of that, but it wasn't called a conscious community. So what I'm saying is 125th Street, before I came there, right? This is before I came, even when Malcolm and them was out there. That was a hub.
Hit the Cash App link in description.
To socialize. As a result of them socializing, right, they were able to build things, right? They were able to build things, okay? So as a result of building things, right, they had the weekly classes at the National Black Theater. Gene Arnold, Rising Power, right? He was able to facilitate that. He just made transition recently. And coincidentally, Africa Bambaataa, right? He played a major role in facilitating a social setting so brothers and sisters could come together and meet and greet, build, sell their merchandise, vend, and do all kind of other things, right? So we don't have that anymore, right? Harlem is not Harlem anymore. The heydays of Harlem, to me, died 2018. In my heart, in my mind, when niggas started acting real fucking shady, and when we came out on Polite, and when we had to expose them, and when all of those clowns and whatnot try to push back, the community died. In my eyes, it was dead from that day on. You know what I'm talking about? And everything that you may be now is just it's just fallout. You know what I mean? It's just fallout. It's like, it's residue. But it died. You know what I'm saying? Harlem has never been the same since that day. If anybody lives in Harlem and been on 125th Street, let me know. Tell me when it was popping after that. Tell me when it was lit after that. I'll wait. Oh, shit. Okay. So it began to falter. Right? There's many stars in our community. Don't be a bitch about it. There's many stars. It's not just one star. There was many stars. It's just who y'all was riding. Y'all was riding coattails, and y'all was sitting on niggas' laps and whatnot. And you said that he was your star. There's many stars in the community. Let's be clear. And then at the end of the day, some people know how to market themselves better than others. So it's niggas out there. It was niggas out here that marketed themselves on social media and other places. In the community, and you was really into the information, and you understood, and you were utilizing discernment, and you knew who was Fugazi and who wasn't. You understood who the stars were. So let's be clear. Stop that. You know what I'm talking about? Stop that. Anyway, it was stars in the community in 05, before a Polite, 07, 08, 09, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's just that, I always say this before, if you're watching YouTube and you only get to see an hour of somebody's 24 hours, and the only time that you're introduced to characters because you live in Boise, Idaho, is through YouTube platforms, you're not getting the whole fucking experience. You're not getting the whole experience. You're getting piecemealed the experience because you're not on the ground. You're not boots on the ground. You don't know what's going on. You don't know who's who. So you get caught up in the hype, and that's understood. That's understandable and whatnot. But you know, please don't define from your perspective or from your vantage point. You cannot define this community or who's relevant, who puts in work, or who's behind the scenes making shit happen based off of what you see from an edited video that comes on YouTube. Remember, they just started letting you go live on YouTube recently. Other than that, it was videos that were being chopped up and edited. You know what I'm talking about? But a lot of niggas been got shut down. Got put to sleep. Got put them in a shallow grave. They was non-relevant.
That's what I'm talking about.
They were non-relevant.
You know what I'm talking about?
Then other people picked them back up. Breathed life into them. You know what I'm talking about? They breathe life into them. That has nothing to do. I wash my hands. That don't got shit to do with me. That got shit to do with the dick riders. That got shit to do with the people who wanted to keep going and the people who wanted to keep the charlatanism going and whatnot. They are the ones who you niggas need to be looking at, because they resurrected a motherfucking zombie, a mummy out of his fucking sarcophagus, because he got buried a long time ago. You feel me? So the same type of social setting that was prevalent in New York City, like I said, even before YouTube and the VHSs and all of that, before that. Because if you go back into the 60s and whatnot with the soapboxes and shit like that, there was a social setting going on all the way back then. All the way back then. You know what I'm talking about? All the way back then. So when I go to Atlanta, I'm like, where's the community at? Is it at Wadada's? Is it at Tassili's? Like, where do people come together to build, to socialize, right? To exchange ideas and concepts. I attempted to do that with Mondays in the West End. Every Monday, right there, 640 Evans, I wanted to restore that type of energy, so I went ahead and did every Monday. I sacrificed melanin, the format that we got here, where we talking and we building, and it's just me. I sacrificed that to do a weekly venue where the doors were open to mad people, and then the YouTube, y'all wasn't feeling that. Niggas wasn't showing up for that. They wasn't watching that. They wasn't rating that. You know what I'm talking about? My numbers went in half. That shit dropped in half. But the physical aspect of it was beautiful because people got to come. I seen people get into relationships. You feel me? I seen vendors get their money and whatnot. Where's athletics and whatnot? Where's my guy? Where's my guy? He's in the building. The vendors was eating and whatnot. I was putting new people on stage, introducing them to the world. I had my daughter up there. She was hosting and whatnot. I got her on the stage. You feel me? And got her, acclimated to, feeling comfortable about being on stage, performing in front of people, talking to the people, all of that. Because the aspect of socializing is very important, because you think you know somebody just because you watch them on the video and whatnot, just because you're looking at them through your phone. You need to look at a nigga in their eyes. You need to be able to see somebody physically in your presence so you can feel their energy. You need to hear them walk. You need to hear them talk. You need to watch them walk. See if they walk that walk and they talk that talk. So every other week we had guests and whatnot. We were introducing people. Q Butter came. We had a few people. We brought sisters up there. You know what I mean? We brought the brothers up there. Because that's what's important. The social aspect. Seeing people in the flesh. You know what I mean? Networking and communicating. Some people are socially awkward. And that's nothing against anybody per se, right? That's no indictment against anyone. You could be socially awkward. You could be a quote unquote a recluse and whatnot. You could be inverted. You don't have to be. I'm extroverted. As two twins, I'm the extrovert, and my brother would be considered the introvert. I'm a social butterfly. You know what I mean? I know how I hit the room. I don't have no problem. I get on the stage. I got stage fright, but I get over that shit. You know? So everybody is not held to the standard to where they have to be social and they have to be in your face or they have to be extroverted, because there's some teachers that they don't like people. You feel me? They don't like people. They don't like being around people. They don't like the energy of being around people, and I can understand that because, you know, I can relate. I can relate to picking up on nervous energy or negative energy, witch and warlock energy. You know what I mean? Bad spirits. Because if I step in a place, you know, my spirit is coming in there with me. So I might be smiling and moving around, but my spirit is going to war with all kind of spirits in there, because motherfuckers they have ulterior and they on some wicked shit. Energy vampires. You know, motherfuckers who be, you know, hiding their intentions and whatnot. You know, all that shit. All that shit. I don't care where you go. Atlanta, New York, California. You know, it don't matter about the region. But you got to work that shit out. You would never know until you stepped into the building and was like, oh, okay, I be seeing this nigga online, but I'm not feeling them in person. My spirit don't take to them. And that's all good. Maybe your spirit will start talking to you in your sleep, and they'll be sending you emails and signals and be like, this nigga or this chick ain't about nothing that they say. Watch out. And then when you're in a social setting, right, you can hold people accountable for the shit that they don't do or the shit that they're out here doing and whatnot. But when you hiding in the computer and on your phone and you moving around and whatnot, and you know people can't get their hands on you, you wind up doing whatever the fuck you want to do because there's nobody to hold you accountable. So wherever we go, it is imperative that we set up some type of social system. Looking at looking at how things go in these days, the best thing that we could do creatively is to be creatives. Don't waste no fucking time. Have your sipping paint parties. Just do whatever you need to do, but create it. There may be heavy sexual tension in the air. You know, when men and women get together, there's a spark. There's this fucking energy. Or some baddies in the building. You know what I mean? You know, that's a charge. That's an energy. Use that as a creative energy. Start painting or something. Draw something, my nigga. You know what I mean? Build some fucking Lego blocks. I don't know what to tell you. You know, do some fucking paint on some clothes. Creative. The best thing that we could do is to create. How do I feel about Jay Morrison? I don't know him. You know, I don't know the brother. You know, my brother had interviewed him, but I don't know him. You know what I mean? My energy don't take to him like that. So I haven't, you know, I don't know him, and I haven't put myself out there to know him. You know? Because everybody don't need to be hobnobbing and you know, keep keying and everything. Because everybody's not for everybody. Everybody's not for everybody. Doing in the community, I'm not familiar with his work. You know what I mean? I'm not familiar with his work. Why is Dr. Inky talking reckless? Why do you think? Why do you think? So, you know, it's important, and it's not even coming. It's not indicative on me either. But it's important because we do the roll call in the beginning of the shows. There's a lot of people who live next to each other. There's people in the Carolinas that's mad deep on the show. Detroit is mad deep on the show. Was mad deep on the show. Look at my guy, Chicago Crypto Bully. What was he doing in Chicago? He was doing He was doing earn and burn, right? Earn and burn. You could smoke your trees and you could learn cryptocurrency, right? He was doing it at a secret location because that's how Chicago is. You just can't be throwing your address out there. But he was doing it on a first come, first basis type of thing, right? And I even went out there and linked up with the brother. He brought us out to Chicago in April and whatnot. So I saw the operation. You know what I'm talking about? I saw how he was doing it. Shy, and he was in the hood, my niggas. And what he was doing was he was putting brothers and sisters who could be considered at risk, you know what I mean? And he was hipping them to the crypto, the NFT, the blockchain, yield farming, staking, and all of that shit. He was creating a social circle within his city and whatnot to utilize the information that he had that was worth, that has value, right? And it's more valuable by the day, right? And he was putting people on and whatnot while he earns and burns. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You don't gotta be talking about deep stuff, metaphysics, and because that's not for everybody. That's not, you got to find out what the people are into. You got to find out where they at and speak, you know, you got to meet the people where they at and you got to speak their language. You feel me? You got to find out where the people at. You got to speak their language. And usually the language of the people, whatever their passion is, right? If they're into some shit and that's what you're into, then you're going to make yourself a connection. You're going to, more than likely you'll be able to connect with that person because, you know, you're feeding their self-interest. And usually people want to make money, right? But that's a slippery slope because motherfuckers out here, if there's no regulation, if there's no big homies that are looking over, if there's no master teachers that are attached to these teachers, I would say don't trust them. If they don't have nobody to answer to and they dealing with money and whatnot, I don't know. Not in this day and age. Who can you trust? Who can you trust? You know? But hit the like button too, y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button. But there's people who you can trust. There's people who are trustworthy. You know what I mean? There's programs that are out here, right? There are financial programs. There's a proliferation of financial programs that are out here. I'm not going to the financial teachers and the advisors. That's kind of on you because I don't get paid to promote nobody. I'm not sitting up here. I'm not a fucking commercial, my nigga. I'm not sitting up here promoting people, but they out there. One of you niggas buy the program and share that with your study group and get to this bread. Get to the day trading, get to the Forex because it's not a fucking game and it's real and people is out here killing the game. Dead ass. To this day. There's people out here killing the game while people sitting around waiting to see, oh, is it real or not? Yes, nigga, it's real. They're popping. Crypto is popping. It's a sale going on right now, but it's popping. DeFi, decentralized finance, popping. Yield farming, popping. Forex, popping. Options, popping. All of these things. So, is it like to get your ones up to increase your income streams? Is that a crime? Like, is that something that people can't do? And the quote unquote health is a major issue, right? And in our networks, I don't want to say communities, because you know a community is a concept, right? Common unity, community. When I hear community, I think Rosewood. You know, when I hear community, I think Black Wall Street. I think a place that I could put in the Google GPS and go drive to, right? That's the community. When I think community, I'm thinking a physical place. So right now, it's a network. But in the networks, people out here who have knowledge of the quote-unquote healing modalities, right? There are health practitioners. You got Sadie babies running around. You feel me? You got Sadie babies running around. And you have doulas out here, you know, sisters out here with knowledge of home birth, the doulas and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Then you have people who are out here, you know, and I don't like to say healers. You know what I'm saying? I'll say helpers. I want to, you know, the redefinition of the healer to me is the helper. You know, people are out here helping other people. You know, people are out here helping other people. So there's many reasons for people to get together and to build and to socialize. But this is something that I'm telling you, everybody is interested in replicating the best parts of what Harlem has to offer, right? Because it's all about a balance. You're going to get the best of some shit. It's balance. It's light and dark. It's left and right. You're going to get a balance, my nigga. So as great as Harlem is, as great as New York is, as great as this quote-unquote conscious community may be, there's a balance to it. There's a dark side to it as well, right? You knew that. You know what I'm talking about? You had to know that. You had to know that. So the best part of this quote-unquote community or this network, what the best part of it has to offer, to be honest with you, like I said, if you want to replicate that, and you live in a state or you live in a city or you live in a province or you live in a town or a jurisdiction, and you like, you know, you one of them people that's not scared to go outside, right? You're not scared to go outside, then go outside. Set it up. You know what I'm talking about? Go outside and put something together. You and your team, or just you. Whatever it may be. If you don't have a team, build it and they will. Learn how to vet these niggas, though. You better have a vetting process. It's not against the law to do background checks on people. You know what I mean? Take the fucking picture of their aura. You know what I'm talking about? Like, do something. You know, get you a spiritual system that you trust. And divine, you have to utilize the divination systems. Get a divination system that you trust, right? Get a diviner that you trust and begin to divine on these motherfuckers. That's the best way to vet these people and to figure out who and who's not, because I promise you, I've seen the best of them come and go. I've seen the best of, and to be honest with you, in some situations, you can't tell when a motherfucker's coming. You don't even know that, you know, the devil is a fly motherfucker. Or the evils, whatever you want to call it. Shaitan. That nigga dripping. It's a fly motherfucker. And he comes in both genders. I don't know if intuition is enough. You need to, you know, really invest in a divination system. Somebody who you know is a diviner that you fully trust. You know what I mean? And I would get two. They say get 2 accountants or 2 lawyers. I got lawyers watching lawyers, so I don't go broke. Well, shit, you should have diviners watching diviners, so you niggas don't get spun for your motherfucking your lunch money, because they out here digging pockets too. You know what I'm talking about? They out here digging pockets and catching motherfucking, they catching wreck as well. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to put the thingamajig in the chat, and we're going to go to the open lines. You know what I mean? We're going to go to the open lines. Okay? We're gonna bring the family in the building so we could talk about what we need to talk about and chop up some game. Here it goes. I dropped it in the chat. Anybody that's coming in, you know, yeah, come on in. Just come on in. Blue Pill says Satan is Christ in a ski mask. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Blue said. And it makes sense if you niggas believe in the concept of God making everything, and he's the omnipotent, omnipresent, he's, you know, he the big kahuna. Well, who the fuck created the devil then? Nah, the diviners is digging too. You know that. They catching licks. The diviners is catching licks. The spiritual community is out here drilling niggas. They catching licks too. Let's be clear. XRP and Solano. Okay. I hear that shit. Here's that. So this is the link right here. It's in the chat room. If anybody wants to pull up and you're having an open line, then you could do that. You know what I mean? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Yeah, mana is definitely popping. I've been told y'all to get the mana. Mana been popping. You know, Ethereum, of course, Bitcoin, right? XRP, you know, they doing what they do. The Solano is doing what it's doing. Back your ADA. Definitely. Buy the NFTs before the world gets hit. Hell yeah. Am I familiar with Web 3.0? Yeah, we talked about that. We dealt with the Web 3.0 in the workshop that we was rolling out. You know what I mean? That will pop up when 5G is adopted, mass adoption of 5G, shit like that. ADA is going to the moon. Yeah, that's, from the looks of it, it's definitely going to the moon. The Jason research, I don't know what the name of the Bobby lecture is, but that's Bobby. Bobby was the one that hipped us to the Jason, and he has the literature. He has the book list on information that you could go and look up. Durham is on the come up like the ATL in the 80s. Okay. Look out for that. Look out. You know? How much is 100 streams of lecture? And that's 50 for the next 12 hours. Half a man. Half a man. All right. So we got fam in the building. Let me go ahead and take this first call, right? I see y'all in the building. I'm going to take my good brother because he was on the last stream, and then we wasn't able to build and whatnot. That's my bro, Mano. What's goody, bro?
Yo, what's up?
You? What's popping? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm working right now. Right now it's 3:20 in the UK. I'm working. Right. Yeah, I've been taking
shout
you guys'
advice.
Mandem.
Yeah, shout out to the Mandem across the pond. In it?
Yeah. I've been taking you guys' advice of not farmer and people who are just wasting time and whatnot. And I don't know if you can see that I'm creating my own book and whatnot. I finished it. Yeah, I finished it. But I'm trying to change because I've seen a pattern of I call them the ops. I don't call them white supremacy anymore. Of them co-opting writers, storytellers, and whatnot.
Right.
So that they don't tell our story.
Of course.
So I said, I said, you know what? Let me let me celebrate blackness and learn about blackness as well. Let me learn about Africa. Let me learn about the natives in America. Let me learn about Haiti and whatnot, and just put it in a book. From
Yeah,
me,
we really need that. You know what I mean? We really need that. Like, in a perfect world, when we get the Facts Initiative up and running, because the A in Facts is art, so the focus will definitely be on the screenwriters. And there's already books that in the last 20 years that brothers and sisters have put out. There's some comics. There's a brother Jason. He's out of the UK. He put me and my brother in a comic along with Nova Felder and some other people. He's very talented. Yeah. So the idea and the vision is to uplift, you know, because think about it. Right now, Marvel and DC Comics run Hollywood, right? But Marvel and DC Comics were written in the 60s and the 70s. So it took a while for that to be adapted to a bigger medium, or, you know what I mean? It took a while for that to be adapted. So we have artists that are already doing the work and putting out characters, you know, somewhat changing the narrative and things of that nature. So the next generation, like my son and my daughter's generation, they'll be the ones that'll be able to pick that up and create, you know, I don't even know if it'll be regular movies in the next 10, 20 years. Whatever the medium is, that's the quote-unquote pinnacle and whatnot, they will inherit the work. They will inherit the intellectual property. They will inherit what it is that we are doing in these days and age and whatnot, and they'll be able to take it further.
And I don't know if you've seen an interview of Toni Morrison when they ask her, why do you always write about black people? And she goes, well, I'm writing stories for my people.
Right.
You know, yeah, because as I see, the strongest in terms of writers are novelists, book writers.
Right.
Book writers, because they create the next shift. James Baldwin, the Maya Angelou's, they create the next shift. They push the envelope forward.
They program the minds and the subconsciousness of the generations, their generations, and the ones who come after them. Right? So they're the catalyst, the same way that, you know, and I don't want to throw it out there like I promote them or nothing, but I was reading this the other day, how Adolf Hitler was inspired by authors who preceded him, and they gave him the cloth, right? The same way that you have white Anglo-Saxon Protestants or the westernized European, they're into Nietzsche and whatnot. They're into German philosophers and things of that nature. They're into, you know, they're reading up on Sigmund Freud and people like that. So, you know, the same, and those would be considered their master teachers. The same way that we hold up Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and our master teachers, and we rate them and whatnot. They have their version. They have their literature. They have their litany of literature, and Rind and whatnot. Atlas Shrugged. That's a big dog for them. That's one of their big master teachers. You feel me? Blavatsky is their master teacher. I
know those names. I know those names you say. Yeah.
Aleister Crowley is their master teacher.
Yeah.
Right?
And Confucius, China. They still talk about him today.
Well, Mao Zedong. You know what I mean? With the Red Book and whatnot. They you know, Mao Zedong, his Lenin, Marx. You feel me? All of that, all of these writings, all of these ideas and concepts, right? The ideas and Pascal Beverly Randolph, the ideas and the concepts are able to impregnate and incubate minds of the generations who come after it. And you will never know if 100 years down the line, 200 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 50 years down the line, it might not be you. But there's building blocks, there's pieces that we have to lay, that we have to lay in order for people to stand on it.
Exactly.
Right.
And and
hold on. Ragnar Redbeard. Right. Might is right. I did a show on that I talked about Might is Right. What's that? When they was hanging the press and whatnot, the day of the rope. You know what I mean? All that shit. They riding with that. This what they do. The same way that they brought Lord of the Rings to the big screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I want to. I'm people because I've read about Shakespeare. I've read about what they brought up on, why they invented grammar and whatnot, and spelling and whatnot. I'm showing our people, yeah, tribalistically we're different, culture we're different, but we are the ones who created their English as well. It was us who created it for them.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm telling them is let's put the concept that you guys are teaching, freedom, justice, and liberty into our art. So if we don't do it, the next generation can do it. They can be like, oh shit, it's already done.
Right, Afrofuturism. You know, I'm heavy on that. I am at, you know, Afro-surrealism and Afrofuturism is how we break out of this quote unquote matrix through our imagination. You know what I mean? And Blue Pill spoke about that in detail in one of our previous shows last week, where he was speaking about the aspect of the need for us to tap into the subconscious community, right? Or the superconscious, and balance our scales, especially the masculine amongst us, the masculine energy. We got to balance our scales and tap into that. So, yeah.
Listen, I just want to say, I hope people appreciate you guys. I hope people appreciate what you guys are teaching and appreciate what you guys are on this planet and what you are spreading the truth and light. They do that. And I don't know if I can promote my book. Can I do that? Or
yeah, do your thing.
How about if I throw the link on the chat and people can check it out if they want?
Right, go ahead.
Should I send you the link on this chat or the normal?
You could put it in the chat room.
Okay.
If you got a physical copy of the book, just hold it up, let them see it, and then throw the link in there.
I've got physical, and I've got Kindle as well. This is the link.
Yeah.
And all this came from an idea, a lecture that you and your brother had. I'm not gonna take much of the time, but that you said, why don't in time like the Lord of the Rings and all these books do, and even Game of Thrones, and give us a W in our history.
Right.
Yeah, so all this came from the...
Right, that's Afrofuturism. You know what I mean? You have to shift. You got to tap in, and you can manipulate the history, the future, and the now through the pen. Okay? Through the pen. That's how it starts. You know what I'm talking about? That's how it's... People think they put too much thought, and, you know, it's analysis paralysis. And if you look around and you see how shit has been shifted, it starts with the pen. The pen is definitely mightier than the sword. So, family, is on a link that you see right here. This is the Brother Them. I'm going to drop it in the chat, the Chattington. So, y'all could click it. I appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, and keep teaching. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. All right. Peace. All right. Let's go to Little Goddess in the building. Peace, Little Goddess. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
You for another, enlightening talk.
Oh,
I just wanted to say that I think that we all need to get our quote unquote magic on, as you were saying before.
Right.
Crystals, pendulums, using our intuition. We have proven time and time again that when we do actually come together and put our intuition on one thing, it can come to fruition.
That's a fact.
You know, right? We got that little baby back. Was Ra's sister, right? For the family, for the woman who was on.
Oh yes. The sister right? Who's lost her, who they took her child.
Her baby, yes.
Yeah.
And then she got her baby girl back. So, right. but when we put our intention together, and the fact is that they want us to be fractured. They want us to be dissociated from each other. And as you were bringing up Harlem has always been that pinnacle of, Black, everyone together and everything else like that for how bloody long, and then all of a sudden it hit the bricks, right? And everyone started getting shattered, and then that's what it's now reflecting in on our quote unquote conscious community. But
Right.
the way that we need to think about it is we are evolving, we are growing, we are going to virtual, right? We now get to communicate through this medium, and we can connect this way instead and build that conscious community and build our conscious mindset and our mind trust. And, you know, despite the fact that we can't see each other, we can still interact. And don't let the agenda which they're trying to push